Transformation is a largely academic agenda, but one that local authorities must grasp if they are to improve service provision and maximise productivity. I'm joined now by Chris Wormald, Director General of Local Government and Regeneration at DCLG, to discuss the latest advances in this complex but essential area. Chris, thanks very much for being with us. Transformation has taken on many different guises over the years. What have been the main developments over the last year?
Well, I think probably the biggest one for me is the development of local area agreements. Because they work on a sort of national-local basis, and because they involve local authorities with all their local partners, they open up some real opportunities for interesting transformation projects and a lot more, shared solutions and co-ownership of problems.
In what key areas has transformation been delivering the greatest results then?
Some of the most interesting things I've seen have been about the cultural changes within local authorities as opposed to the normal systems we talk about. So I've been to several local authorities where the important thing for them is how the person on the front desk behaves and what the person on the end of the phone says, and whether they are helpful and responsive and see themselves as there to solve the citizens' problems. And I suspect that's actually long term, that's probably the biggest thing, the biggest change we've seen.
Can you identify some success stories among local authorities?
I was very interested in something I saw in the East Riding of Yorkshire called Citizen Link, which was serving heavily rural communities, and it was basically using video conferencing technology to deliver services in places where there was never going to be a drop-in centre or council office, and they're basically video booths, and you got put through to a face on a screen, so you got the face-to-face contact. But the really interesting bit of thinking that I got into it was they'd gone much wider than just council services. So they discovered that a lot of the people came in to ask questions about things like debt. So they basically come to an arrangement with the Citizens Advice Bureau so that when they got an inquiry that went beyond what the local authority could do for them, they passed them on to the Citizens Advice Bureau.
And Chris, in the aftermath of this year's budget, is transformation more necessary than ever?
I think it's sort of yes and no. I think transformation is always important. There's never a time in any sector of the economy where you reach a sort of status quo point. I think what the current position does is it ups the stakes a bit. It's pretty clear that the public finances are going to be a bit tighter over the next 3 to 5 years than they've been over the last 3 to 5 years. Still growing, but not at the rate they have previously, and that puts a huge onus on local authorities to make that next efficiency saving.
Transformation is meant to be a citizen-centric programme. What are the main benefits the taxpayer has reaped?
I suspect if you ask people, it would be the new one-stop shop and multi-service things that we've seen develop that people would point to most. So it would be the extended school that now does more than education. It would be the children's centre that is designed not around the service but around everything that the user needs. I suspect those are the things people would point to most.
And projecting forward over the year ahead, what main things do you hope to see realised?
To crack some of those issues where the solution is not part of one service area. So those issues like childhood obesity or global warming or building cohesive communities where basically they're only going to happen if all bits of the public sector work together. That would be one. The second would be making real progress on the empowerment agenda. That whole question of how are we going to revitalise democracy and reconnect citizens with the public sector in new ways, so that they're not just better informed and getting better services, but get a real sense of control over the decisions that affect their lives. And then the third thing for local government is just to build on its existing success.
Chris Wormald, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.